Well, YouTube, you didn't ask for this, but we're going to give it to you anyways. I'm MB Elkins.
And I'm Joe Steele.
And this is MB&J Movie Madness.
Today, we're going to talk about the top 10 kids movies that scared us as kids.
Yes, it did. Scarred us for life.
Number one on my list, or the first one I'm going to talk about, is Dumbo.
Ooh.
The Pink Elephants.
Oh, that is kind of like an acid trip, isn't it?
It's the clowns singing with the creepy drunk
when you think
Dumbo.
About Disney movies, you think about, oh, this is going to be a nice children's film, and all of a sudden they throw in this whole little acid trip, don't they?
It terrified me.
It did terrify you, didn't
Right.
it? Yes. Well, my number one film is the majestical, magical world of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We all love Gene Wilder, don't we?
Tear.
Oh, sad. Now, what I was curious about, why in the middle of this wonderful magical film do we have to take this hellish ride on the so-called magical boat ride? Because there was nothing magical about it. I had to close my eyes every time that scene came on because we're seeing worms coming over people's faces and Slugworth pops up and there's chickens getting their heads cut off and I don't understand it. And then he starts chanting that thing.
Never know which way we're going.
What was this all about? My little 5-year-old brain was completely utterly broken by that.
You know, you go from this magical whimsy of chocolate to this terrifying centipedes on people's faces. Alright, next one on my list is Pinocchio. Specifically the scene with Stromboli. He throws Pinocchio into a cage and is counting all this money and it's just really creepy in his face. And
It's his beard.
It was creepy. He is the first child pimp in a film.
Yes, he is.
I think that's...
Thank you again, Disney, for scarring us for life.
So
well,
good.
At least Joe, because you got Dumbo and now Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's killing
You
me.
know, Gene Wilder is the one that scared me.
Oh.
What's my next one? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
We love you.
Yes. Another childhood film that I adored so much. A magical car that's going to take you away to all these fantastic places. But then, speaking of creepy perverts, we all know who we're talking about right there. I smell children. Yes. What's up with the child catcher all of a sudden?
Terrifying.
Another thing that scarred me for life with his long nose and the black hair and his big hook and he's running around. And then he's posing as a candy man trying to, to seduce the children out of their little hiding place with his fake lollies.
Absolutely.
No.
Lollipop, come and get your lollipops.
I literally thought that man was in my closet sometimes at night.
He probably was.
Well,
Or was it me? Next on my list is actually a series of movies. They're all creepy.
what?
All Dogs Go to Heaven. I know it's nothing.
Never saw it.
Creepy. The director had made some really dark stuff, and then this specifically is the sequel. And since it's all about dogs, it makes sense that they would make cats the devil. Literally, there's a cat. It is the devil, and puts all the dogs in hell. And for some reason, it terrified me. The visuals, the music, it was just dark.
So even though it says all dogs go to heaven, there's scenes in hell.
Yep. It's a lie. Not all dogs go to heaven.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
good, because some of them are. My number 3 is that amazing Ridley Scott film from 1984, I think, called Legend, one of Tom Cruise's first films. Now, about unicorns and goblins and things like that, but once again, this mind-numbing, brain-shattering character comes into the middle. What's her name? Meg Mucklebones, the swamp witch woman.
My pretty.
Yes, she's just trying to gobble poor little Tom Cruise up, and that broke my brain every time I watch Legend. I think so to this day I don't like looking at her.
Well, I think that Tom Cruise is very gobbleable. I would.
Well, maybe we both would. What's your number 4?
All right, next one on my list is The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr Toad. Thank you, Disney, again.
Why did that scare you? I love that cartoon.
Okay. Just the whole thing with the eyes, and it's the Sleepy Hollow one. It's
Yes.
The Headless Horseman chasing him down, and like their eyes and how it all freaked out and like got all dark.
That's brilliant. I watched that when I was like 4 on repeat. I love Headless
And when I
Horseman.
was 4, it terrified me. Note the difference between these two people.
Well, I was desensitized out of birth. My number 4 film. Now, when I grew up, I loved the Godzilla series. I loved watching Monster Mayhem of the old black and white Godzilla movies running around and all of that stuff. But there was one that came out in the early 70s called Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster. Over there, Godzilla vs. Hydra. Now, I didn't think, as my wee little child brain, when I watched a Godzilla movie, that I was going to see people getting consumed alive by acid slime. I didn't think I was going to see people turn into skeletons. And all this disco music where there was like people were these teenagers and these hippies were coming around and having
terrifying.
this hallucinogenic time, and then Godzilla's out there and this giant shape-shifting smog monster is there, and it really, really disturbed me. It's rated G, but you see a lot of people, all these poor Japanese people are dying by this freaking sludge thing. It's gross.
All right. Ow. Next, last one on my list is from Fantasia. Thank you, Disney.
Chernabog.
Chernabog, man. That whole Bald Mountain song. Ba, ba, ba.
He's the devil. What do you expect?
Well, just the skeletons coming from the ground and all of a sudden the creepy things, and you're like, this happens at night? Well, thank you, Disney, for making me never want to go outside again.
It's hell on animation.
It's creepy.
It's a lot of fun.
I loved it, but it was creepy.
My last one, my number 5, is actually not really a kid's film.
It's okay.
But it's PG, and I think it's aimed towards family, young audiences.
Well, I know which one you're talking
about. And that was Raiders of the Lost Ark. Now, great, amazing Spielberg, action-driven film. It gives you all the whimsy and the adventure of touring across the world, archaeology, and all that stuff. But what I didn't expect in my wee little brain is to have God come out at the end and melt all the evil Nazis. Did I really need to see that?
No.
Did I need to see that man's head blow up like a watermelon? Did I need to see the evil, what's his name, with the Ronald Lacey plays him? He's like, hello, what shall we talk about? And then he's like, at the very end. It still bugs me to this day.
And that's our list of the top 10 movies that scared us as kids. I think we should do it again.
I'm going to do it again right now.
No.
Go screw himself.